Hey, hope everyone is doing good. This is my video over mental health and loving our neighbors well. So during this podcast, we see that Dr. Swinton, who was a church community member and a hospital chaplain for many years, he gives us advice on how to love people well that are suffering with mental health issues. Mental health issues can often have the impacts of shame and isolation and withdrawal from community, and it's up to us as the body of Christ to help welcome these people back in, to show them love and kindness and grace, and to help reaffirm their value and give them a chance to share the gifts that God's given them. We're going to see that a lot of times stigmatization can lead to people having the shame, the doubts, the withdrawal from society or their church communities. And this can happen when someone's negatively labeled or just stigmatized with a simple word. For example, we could say that Bob is a schizophrenic. Now, Bob is a whole person. Bob could be a wonderful father and a loving husband, and all of this can be thrown to the side with how people see him when he gets just put in that category of schizophrenic. So we're missing a lot of who Bob is as a person, and this can lead to people avoiding Bob, people not thinking that he has good things to say or not wanting to be around him, just completely oversimplifying his character, his life, and his story. One of the first things we can do to help this is to listen to Bob. We can listen to him and see his worth as a child of God. Bob was fearfully and wonderfully made. No matter what trials he's been through, no matter what mental health struggles any of us have been through, we're all fearfully, wonderfully made. We're loved beyond belief, and we are all part of the community of Christ as believers. So as a part of the body of Christ, we all have equal value. Not one part of the body is more important than the next. And when we acknowledge this and acknowledge that we're all wonderfully and lovingly made, we can live for God in a way that's unifying, and we can join beside people and help them through tough times together. Thinking about someone's value that they feel, their sense of self-worth, it's a lot of times it's a gift that can come from living in friendship, good relationship, community, and we can help give this to other people as well. A lot of times people with negative stigmas or with bad mental health conditions can have shame and isolation and just withdraw from those communities. And so what we can do to help that is to listen to their stories, acknowledge them as a son or daughter of God, and be there with them and encourage them to share their own stories. In the Bible, we see that there's a woman who had a hemorrhage and she was unclean, so she was isolated from society. As such, she reaches out to touch Jesus' robe, and she is cured from her physical condition. However, once she realizes that Jesus had cured her, Jesus says, "Go now, your faith has healed you." What seems to happen was that while she was cured from touching Jesus' robe, she was actually healed when she had connection and community and a healthy sense of self. That would have followed her cured hemorrhage and her reintroduction to society, her finding Jesus, and establishing that wonderful relationship with him. So rather than getting rid of the problem or the trouble, the mental health diagnosis, rather than getting rid of the hemorrhage, what really led to healing was walking with Christ and loving and living in a Christ-centered community. And so, a lot of times praying for God to be with people through vast trials and storms in their life can be the best thing we can do. And praying for them to keep their sense of value and showing us ways that we can help love and support each other during difficult times. Listening and being present with each other as the body of Christ is always important. And a lot of these people may still have their mental health conditions or difficulties for the rest of their lives. So it's good to focus on good friendships and healing and restorative communities. We can listen to people, have a deeper understanding of what they're going through, and we can also offer support through friendships and community, and also through mental health professionals. Dr. Swinton thought that we shouldn't isolate ourselves due to falling out of touch with God. He brings up how Jesus even says on the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me? Or why have you abandoned me?" So we know that these trials can be unpleasant in life, and that Jesus has also felt the same way with falling in and out of connection with God. And so, at least on the cross, he fell out of connection with God, or felt like he was abandoned. And so this can give us hope. Sometimes when people are down or broken, the best things we can do is love them and hold on to faith and hope for them, and so that they can walk with Christ again normally after the trial has passed, or we can help bring them closer to Christ during their trials. So we're all connected and a part of the body of Christ. It's up to us to love and follow God together.